What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Spectacular Sci-Fi Guys. My name is Carlos.
I'm Jay Slay Sonny.
I'm Alvin.
And we are the Spectacular Sci-Fi Guys. I'm sorry y'all caught me in the middle of trying to get a drink. Sorry. Sorry, my bad. That's very unprofessional of me. And so, how's everybody doing? We got to act like we didn't talk before this.
Oh. Yeah. I'm ready to go.
Fantabulous.
Yeah.
Doing fantabulous.
So,
oh my.
This is being recorded on February 26th. So this is a week after the premiere of the Ant-Man Quantum Mania. My good friend Alvin came up and we made a day of it. Went and saw the movie and went to some comic book shops and did some spectacular sci-fi guy stuff, you know, and everything. So we're gonna get into that and talk about Kang and the movie and everything. But we got a few things that we're gonna talk about before that. So one of the first things that is on the agenda is I think I told you about this a little earlier. Again, I apologize because I need to silence my phone. But we're talking about this Zack Snyder verse. What's going on is Zack Snyder is pushing to have his version of DC on Netflix, which to me, I think that's a damn good idea. So you'll pretty much have James Gunn doing his thing for DC on all the DC outlets, whether it be movies and whatnot. And then you'll have Zack Snyder doing his thing in the Netflix world. So these would be like two universes or universe size, or I don't know what you call multiple universes, whatever. but but these would be two different universes. They'll have their own different agendas and different plots and all this stuff, which I think is fucking awesome. How do y'all feel about it?
I'm in one way, I like it, but the majority of my brain doesn't, because DC's biggest thing is there's no continuity, and they've been fighting this for the longest. Now, what you just said was it could be a different universe, you know, and both DC and Marvel are dealing with multiverse you know, aspects of the comics. What would be good is if he agrees to use some different characters other than what James Gunn is using, because you can DC and Marvel have a amazing you know, amount of superheroes, but for some reason they always center on the big three, you know, whether it's Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, or Captain America, Thor, Iron Man. You know, so in that aspect, you could actually tell further stories and different adventures using different characters without a continuity thing. You just hope it doesn't become confusing.
I can see that. How about you, Sonny? How you feel about it?
Well, I'm gonna kind of, first of all, piggyback on something Alvin said. I don't think Marvel is. I think Marvel is trying to move away from the big three or the main characters a little bit. With Wakanda, with the Marvels, with Scarlet Witch, with Ant-Man. I think both of them, both Marvel and DC, started with what they consider the most popular characters, which is why we see more of them than anything. And y'all know me, I think Marvel has done a great job with most of their characters who I knew was just not going to make it. And I hate that. And I hate to see the Dr. Morbius didn't really do well. But when it comes to DC, it's the continuity thing for me. And as I have mentioned before, DC probably, in my opinion, had a leg up on Marvel using the alternate realities, but they dropped the ball. And I don't necessarily know if they're going to pick it up again. I mean, the way it would be great to say, hey, we're doing this Crisis on Infinite Earths thing. This One Piece is on Netflix, One Piece is on wherever. But they're not going to do that. I'd be surprised if they did that. Looking at this Flash promo that they played during the Super Bowl, I'm happy to see that they seem to be touching on that, but where are they going to go with it? I'm still mad that we got umpteen million versions of Batman, and some of them, the first one was just cartoony. So how are you going to rectify that? How are you going to piece together? They can do it, but I just don't have a lot of faith in DC. We'll see how the new showrunners do.
Sonny, they're sort of addressing that in this multiverse or this DC continuity thing, because this is, you could say this is the Batman of Earth whatever, because they use, Earth this and Earth that, and that's the reason why there's so many Batmans. They could tie all of these misguided movies that they had in with this Flash multiverse. It's a Flashpoint. I'm sorry, I'm confusing them, but
I agree. But will they? That's the question.
Well, I mean, they've already started, with the Flash movie. So you don't really have to show all the Batmans now in the upcoming movies, because what you've established is there's different Earths, there's different Batmans. You don't have to bring all of them back. This story here was a Batman from whatever, and this, story, this Batman movie was this story or from this Earth. And so I think the Flashpoint, it could be a big workaround of why all these, there's the continuity issue that they have.
Yeah, it's I can say it is got a whole lot of potential. I hope DC works it like it needs to. And you're right, Al. We don't need to see every inclination of Batman, and that's not what I meant. We don't need to see that. It would be corny if we did, because it would seem forced. I think that the Spider-Man movie did a good job of bringing everybody in. But here's my thing. Marvel had a legitimate excuse for doing that. They were, it was a way of trying to tie in this property that had been spread across two companies and try to unify everything into one. I get that. I get it. I guess I'm just disappointed with DC because they didn't have that problem. And they could have started from day one tying in these properties. And like you said, they've got a million different characters that they can use. And they don't even try and do what I call the Guardian of the Galaxy effect, and even try to put somebody else out there and see what's what. And I'm afraid that if they do, we're going to see something like the Wonder Twins or something.
The Wonder Twins could be done well. I mean, because that's your humor. Wait a minute. That's your humor part that the Guardians of the Galaxy brought. These Guardians of the Galaxy that they brought was not the original Guardians of the Galaxy that I grew up with.
Yeah.
You know, and they were laughable. You know, they were silly, but they got the job done. Now, you know, granted, there's plenty other characters used than the Wonder Twins, but what I'm saying is any storyteller and director or whatever character that they throw at you, you can make that character pop, you know, or relevant for a moment in time, or you know, going back to something you said about being upset that Morbius didn't do as well. Morbius technically is not a MCU character. So, you know, and nobody had real high hopes on Morbius anyway. They just hoped that the movie was good.
I think people were more a bit going for Morbius for the Man Thing, Blade, that occult type.
Yeah, the supernatural,
right?
The supernatural part of it.
They were more going for it. They wanted Morbius to do well because of that. I don't think that was a good introduction to Morbius, and he that movie kind of sent conflicting messages about him. It just
this is what's going to happen to the other Sony movies that come out. They're so standalone, and it's like Sony is trying to build a Marvel universe out of the characters that the few characters that they own the rights to. It will never, unless they continue to tie in with the MCU, like they did, allowing them to use Spider-Man.
Right.
Their movies are always going to be hit or miss, because you're not in the grand scheme of things, unless they tie it in, and just like in DC, if they tie it in with the multiverse aspect of it, then these characters, lack of a better term, would be what we call in comic books one shots.
Mm-hmm.
You know, one and done,
right,
type movies.
Well,
you know, they have some good, you know, they got some big characters. They got Venom and they got Spider-Man, but those characters aren't, unless you're just doing a Spider-Man universe, which I know they can't do that because MCU already has the Spider-Verse. Right. So you can't really even go that way with the few characters that they have. So I think Sony should smarten up and sit back and allow their properties to be used by the MCU and just make money, because that's all they're going to do. They're going to reap the benefits of what Marvel, the MCU, does with their characters.
Right. Just take their hand off the wheel. They were going to take their hand off the wheel and let somebody else drive.
Right. Yeah, I mean, because we thought they were going to do that with Spider-Man. I mean, with the success of Spider-Man, you would think that they would have saw that and say, "Hey, this thing works. Let's let them go ahead and do it."
Mm-hmm. I think the next character is Kraven. Who wants to see a Kraven movie, you know, without Spider-Man in it?
But if you want, let's get back to the DC.
Well, and getting back to DC, I was going to mention there are rumors about a new Constantine movie being in development.
Right, it is.
So how do they make that work? And I'm a Constantine fan. I love Constantine. I think Keanu Reeves did it great. I think when it was on TV, it was cool. Mm-hmm. Will it stay? Mm-hmm. Well, who will be the star? I don't know. But once again, how would they tie it in? I just have zero faith in DC movies.
Well, hold on.
It could with this Flashpoint, it can be tied in, because to tell you the truth, DC did the original multiverse type story when they did Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Yeah,
and what they did was
right to begin with.
They were trying to, because they had so many different worlds and different stories that really wasn't in continuity with everything else. What they did was they said, okay, we need to correct our timeline, our, what's going on. It's so many characters. And then they started destroying these worlds, these different worlds in that Crisis series, which I thought is hands down one of the best series either Marvel or DC has done. I think that storyline was amazing, and then people came after that and messed it up again, and then they had to come back and try to work it out again. You could take Crisis on Infinite Earths and correct everything that's been done up until this point and move on it, because the Anti-Monitor and all of this, all the big villains that was in this Crisis series can be done in the movies, and it would, they had the original book plan, and I believe Marvel looked at it and said, okay, we can do this better than you. Yeah. And what happened is DC, because they jumped out so fast, they put out the superhero movies before Marvel with the Superman movies, and then Superman was on TV, and then Batman movies. Marvel was giving us Conan, and then they had a hit with Blade. But somebody had to sit down and said, okay, we can work all of this into one big thing and make it money making. DC just did not have that vision originally. But what they did was DC put out movies to get us comic book fans something to see. They weren't thinking of tying all this together. They were thinking one shots. Marvel was thinking, let's get all of our characters involved in this thing, all together. So when I look at this Flash movie that's coming, the trailer, I'm sitting there like, and I've been down on DC, because I don't like Superman, but I love the fact that they're bringing in Supergirl.
Right.
That, when I saw that, I was like, whoa, wait a minute. That's amazing.
Right.
And it's almost a refresh to me. Okay, you got so many Superman imitated characters. Let's use one of them. And they've done it. They could use Moneo from the Legion of Superheroes, and there's other characters to use beyond Superman. And it seems like they've got it with this movie. Hopefully, everything about these trailers that I've been seeing in Flash has been amazing, and it has made me, even though all of the wackiness that this I think me and Carlos was talking about this. I kept wondering, why are they holding on to this movie? Because of this actor is doing so many crazy things in his own personal life. And then when you see Ezra Miller, when you see the Flash trailer, you understand why they're not going to scrap this movie. This movie looks amazing to me.
The movie, which is the next point, the movie they're using this movie as the jumping off point of everything that's supposed to happen.
Everything, right?
So without this movie, without this movie being the gateway, then we won't have what's coming next.
Right?
So, who knows? They may even decide to release the Batgirl movie out of this.
And then after this movie, James Gunn has freedom to do anything. I think this is the best jumping on point for James Gunn, because
that's going to be my point. Because Sonny mentioned a lot about not trusting DC, and I think James Gunn is DC, and it's really out of DC's hands. It's in his hands. Right. So even though he's doing it under the title, DC is irrelevant as far as what's going to be happening, because it's his baby. Now, going back to the Zack Snyder DC verse on Netflix, my original question is, what do we think about it? And I told you that I think it's awesome. The reason I think it's awesome is, one, because of something that Sonny mentioned in the previous episode about competing titles like Marvel and DC coexisting. Will if both a DC and a Marvel movie comes out, will we go watch both of them? Yes, we will.
Yes.
So in this same instance, if Zack Snyder and James Gunn both put out a Superman movie, just as an example, are we going to see both of them? Yes, we will.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's not about, confusion or nothing. If I know that this is Zack Snyder's universe and I know that this is James Gunn's universe, there's nothing going to confuse me. I'm going to look at James Gunn for what it is, and I'm going to look at Zack Snyder for what that is. It's not going to be any crossover, and I'm going to understand that these are two different universes. There's much in the same way that we all watch Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and realize that was one universe, and then Marvel itself was a whole different universe.
Up into a certain point, though, because they tried to bring them in.
They took liberties whenever
they took
it benefited
liberties.
them.
Yeah,
whenever it benefited them, they took liberties and made it one universe, and the other times it wasn't the same universe. But still, nonetheless, we still watched it. Is what I'm saying.
Oh yeah. Well, being comic book fans, you want to support all the movies that come out anyway, because I'm like this, and you all can remember when those first Superman movies came out, and even Conan. We went to see Conan because we knew who Conan was.
I mean, when I first saw Conan, I didn't even know it was a Marvel. I did not know. I did, because it was a standalone movie.
I bought the Conan movie. Books. So so I knew it was a Marvel movie, a Marvel character, or a open source, whatever they call the open source, because Marvel, there's other comic, I don't know how you say it, like DC and Marvel. There's other people that can put out, publishers that can put out, because how is it, Sonny? It is a open source.
Well, the copyright kind of lapsed on it, so it's an open source subject
character, right?
And so because Conan was, truth be known, was probably one of the first books outside of the books that Alvin got me started on, that I started collecting, because it was a magazine, and it's always been very graphic, highly sexualized.
Right.
It's just like how they do Tarzan. Certain publishers can use it if it lapsed. So, so I always knew that those were Marvel properties at the time, because I bought the books. But it's what I was saying was, it didn't matter. Me as a comic fan knew that character, and I was going to see it. And now you got people that get so upset at, well, this is not right, and this is not right, and it's just garbage. I'm like, I'm going to see all of them that come out, because if the numbers start dropping on these movies, then they're gonna back off of making them.
Well, yeah.
And then all you're gonna have are the comic books.
Yeah. Right.
So
we go back to square one, where we were just reading books and wishing that they had made movies for it.
Wishing that they made movies, right?
I mean, and I think Star Trek universe started really set the mold for that with Discovery, and saying, hey, we're gonna do this thing, we're going to put on streaming. So if you want to see it, you gotta pay for streaming. And I tell you, the only reason I even paid for Paramount because of that.
Right.
Yeah.
And now, and did I think that it was worth my money? I love the show, but I was going to pay for it for Star Trek. Now it's got some other stuff on it that I like.
That is good, right?
That's
but
good.
they use they used that knowing that we were going to come and you know, help their sales and this and that, because we were Star Trek fans. You know,
Even the people that dog it out, they watched it still. If nothing else, so they could dog it out still every week.
Yeah, but you know, we're not getting off subject, but these new Star Treks are amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But let's get back to the Zack Snyder. But like I said, when in doing the DC verse and on Netflix and Zack Snyder doing that, like I said, I think it'll be a great idea. It's been talked that, you know, because we know that James Gunn, I think he scrapped the Black Adam, so that means Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's out of
Right.
the James Gunn verse. Henry Cavill's out.
Here's the thing.
Huh?
Well, y'all really surprised because
No,
we like The Rock. I think The Rock is cool.
Yeah.
But most of the movies that The Rock is in don't really do well.
They do well, but the thing about it is, his interpretation of Black Adam was pretty damn good. I don't know what the negative reviews are. I haven't even read it. I know that they're negative reviews, but I didn't even read them because I liked the movie. But I did not like certain representations of other superheroes in the movie, the Hawkman and all that. I thought that could have been better. I thought that could have been better. But how they portrayed Black Adam, I like that, and I thought that was a good movie. And so, but also they James Gunn getting rid of Henry Cavill. So they're talking about Dwayne was trying to recruit Henry Cavill to get on with Zack Snyder's version of the DC verse, because I think The Rock was kind of upset of how his project got scrapped. I don't know if it was ego or if he really liked the character or whatever it is. He wants to push the Zack Snyder side and he was actually recruiting a bunch of people that got terminated by James Gunn and bring them over to Zack Snyder, and they do their own thing. And that's part of the reason of the Netflix. That's part of the reason of this, and and them pushing for Zack Snyder to man the helm of it. But like I said, I think it's a damn fabulous idea, because you got these two creative geniuses, and it's going to be like them, going head to head and combating one another and seeing who has the best ideas. But and it's win-win for us, the fans.
Right.
Because it's we can't get enough of it. We can't get enough of our comic book characters coming to life. We can't get enough of that. We can't get enough of all this, all the action and all these characters that we grew up loving, being portrayed on film. We can't get enough of it. So like I said, it's a win-win for us. So I want it. So in transition to that, let's talk about the Flash trailer, which we saw. I'm really excited for that. Like I said, that's going to be a great jumping off point for James Gunn for what he has coming. He talked about a lot of stuff that is coming, that this is going to branch off. This is going to branch off to other movies and everything. The premise of it is, I think it's the same thing that the Flashpoint in the comic book is. Barry, he wants to save his mom, so he wants to go back and change time and save his mom and everything jumps off from there. The biggest thing that everybody is superiorly happy about is their most famous and the best Batman in the world is the Michael Keaton Batman being in this movie.
Right.
So
right.
I think that's the biggest. I think that's been the biggest plus in this right here. So how do we feel about this Flash movie, the trailer?
I just voiced my opinion on it. I think this is going to go down as one of the best DC movies. Just by looking at the previews. I mean, I hope this is not one of those things where they put all the good stuff in the previews and then you got to sit through, an hour worth of foolishness. There's a lot of things that I see now in the trailer that I'm wondering about, like like one of the Flashes has a red yellow aura around him, and then the other one has a blue aura around him. You know, I think in the comics and the you know, the TV shows, that blue aura was always Zoom or some other evil Flash. You know, you got to wonder, is that what they're using, or are they just doing that to separate you know, visuals for two Flashes in one movie?
I think it's probably to represent the different universes, that they're from two different
Could
universes.
be, yeah.
Because it's much like, you know, I know we keep going back to the different, going back to Marvel. It's the different. I'm trying to think. Was there something different? But yeah, I think it's just to represent the different universes. So if, but it could be an opening for the Reverse Flash as well.
Right.
So I don't know. But it's going to be interesting to see what, you know, how this all plays out. How did you feel about the trailer, Sonny?
I'm happy for anything that DC does that tries to bring some type of continuity. So yeah. I think you know, it's pretty obvious that they're looking at different timelines, and like you keep saying, it seems like they're trying to travel down.
It's easy to say your love language is continuity.
Huh?
It's easier to say your love language is continuity.
My love language is continuity.
Hey, look, Carlos. He don't like one shots.
No one shots.
I don't like one shots. I don't like one night stand.
You don't want a one night stand. You want continuity.
and because there have been so many of them with this franchise, I'm happy to see something coming back in. I'm glad to see they're doing it.
It's because it's been so many
Batman.
It's because it's been so many different cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And I know that.
And then,
I know that.
And now that you got one person there saying, okay, this is how it's going to be done. This is what we're going to do. And this direction we're going to go in.
You got, and I get it. You guys have faith in the showrunner. I get it. I feel that way, but I'm looking at the business model. I'm looking at a company that is going through a merger, and they're cutting costs. My goodness, they just shelled a $200 million finished movie, and they chopped just about all their well-performing series. So I have no doubt that the showrunner can do a great job and make a great product. My question is, will the people that hold the purse strings let him? So I'm holding out hope that this movie does well. I will watch it. I will enjoy it. I think I'm going to enjoy it for what it was. But I got to remind y'all, I enjoyed the Justice League, and that got dogged out too. So I don't know if that says something about my judgment or says something about, I don't know. I mean, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Well, you know, like I said, it's got to be a big jumping off point, because like Alvin mentioned earlier, you know, with Ezra Miller's, you know, legal troubles and all that, and they still standing behind them, that has to show you some kind of dedication.
Yeah.
Because like you just said, if they scrapped a $200 million movie,
right, they could have scrapped this one,
and they're standing behind this.
And they are. That says they are, because and to be quite honest, I was surprised to see they were still moving forward with it. I mean, you're shelving $200 million. I'm figuring you're going to shelve everything. So
no,
we'll see. We'll see how it works.
We'll see how it works. So in this one, I think they're not going with the traditional Superman as the big hero. They're going with Supergirl as the big hero in this one. So
I'm not very fond of this Batmobile version either, by the way.
You know what? Did you like the Rumbler or the Tumbler?
I like the Tumbler.
You like the
Tumbler? No, hey Carlos, he wants the original that comes out the the TV show version that comes out the what is it, that sign, you know, it comes down and he comes out of it. That's
No,
that's
no,
the
for
old
that,
school.
that's
I
what
want
he
the
wants.
back copter.
He want the
From
old school
the
boom
TV
bam.
version. I want to see the back copter.
Boom bam.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't like the phallic looking Batman.
You know, I could make all kind of jokes on that.
Yeah,
Because,
I mean, I
but,
think you
you know,
would
we
like. I
try
think
to
you would
keep
like
this
the old school
B-rated.
phallic looking one, don't you?
So now you're saying Batman's overcompensating.
Listen.
Hey.
I'm saying it looked like the penis. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying the Batmobile looked like a penis. But so now we're dealing with this. We have the multiverse in Marvel. Now we have the multiverse here in DC, and you know there's similarities to this movie in that Spider-Man Homecoming, you know, and everything. And I know this was originally a book. It was in the comic books and everything, but now they bring it to movies. So for those people who are not familiar with the book, they're going to compare it to the last thing that they know of about multiverse, which is, you know, Spider-Man Homecoming. You know what I'm saying?
And those are going to be the people that I think don't know about. Those are going to be non-comic book readers.
Well, right, exactly.
Yeah, because a lot of the movie fans, a surprisingly large number of movie fans are non-comic book readers.
Yes, and that's the
so
thing.
You have to go back and kind of explain stuff to them because you're right. They're going to think
when you're dealing with the multiverse,
DC copied.
When you're dealing with the multiverse, it comes into complex issues that people can't wrap their head around.
Mm-hmm.
So for people that read the comic books, we can kind of wrap our head around it. You know what I'm saying? You know, because you know we read the books and we get how things work, and things and a lot of them they have a Back to the Future type of reference when it comes to, you know, going back in time, and then not only going back in time, but now you're dealing with multiple universes where they have a person who looks just like you who's totally different from you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Doing, you know, they're a superhero or they're a cook or whatever, you know, so they can't wrap their head around that. So
I always think in another universe, I'm a stripper.
What do you say?
I always think in another universe, I'm like a Chippendale or something.
You're something.
You're something.
You're something. I can agree with the something part.
you might be what's on the back side of the pimp hand.
And hey, in another universe, we're all slugs. So, that's why they call it the multiverse. It's just limitless. You know what I'm saying? So, well, I mean, how do we feel about? Do we think we're going to lose audience because of that? Because of the time travel and multiverse talk and everything?
No, because I especially with Marvel, I think there's this Kang stuff. They're setting up the timeline, and you know, they're explaining it out with that and the Loki series.
Yeah, right.
So I think they're giving it to you a little bit at a time in a couple movies, a couple TV shows to explain it as best they can. This is this character. This is the villain that we're dealing with. He can, you know, he has different versions of himself in different time streams and timelines and universes. So to combat this person, you're gonna have to travel through the time, you know, through time
or different universes.
In different universes. So I think Marvel is doing it well. You know, I have a real good friend here that's, you know, he was like, he don't think that they explain Kang well, you know, or he hopes that they do. Well, it didn't, but what you just like
but we got a lot more to go though.
we got a lot more to go. That's what I was about to say. They give you they gave you a little bit of Thanos at a time until you came up to the grand scheme of, now we as comic fans, we already knew that Thanos was in love with death. We just had to see how they were going to do it in the movies.
Right.
Now they didn't quite make it to where he was in love with death. He just wanted to, in his mind, balance the universe. But so I think the like we spoke before, the best thing that Marvel has done is correlated their TV shows and their movies to move in the same direction. So
right.
Yeah, so they're going to give you a little bit of Kang backstory in this TV show and a little bit more in this movie, and then when it hits the grand scheme of things, the two big movies that they're going to have, or however many big movies that they're going to have to battle, Kang. During all the past shows and TV, the movies and TV shows, we're going to get what Kang is and who he is and what he stands for and why we need to defeat him.
Right. And I think Marvel does a great job with being strategic with those kind of things. That's what worries me about DC. Like Alvin said, Marvel, we didn't know it at the time, but Loki really was developed to give you that super simplified version of the multiple timelines in this, so you can be ready for it in this movie that's about to come. And that way it doesn't all have to try to I don't have to try to cram the explanation of it in this 2-hour movie. Now I can sit here and tell a story because you already have some idea of it. Right. And then even with Ant-Man, I mean, being able to tie that thing in to the quantum universes, and now it all ties together. My thing with DC is they don't utilize that stuff. They don't utilize it well. But this is not new because they said early on when they started doing that TV series, they weren't going to have any connection between the two.
Right.
And Marvel did that well. Even with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., before they tried to kick them to the curb. Well, they kick them to the curb when they feel like it. But they played that show to get people excited and lead them into the movie that was going, whatever Marvel movie was about to take place, and then even bring them out on the other end. Right. So, I mean, and it was a marketing ploy. Now, sometimes it was kind of obvious, maybe a little cheesy how they did it, but they did it and they kept it interesting. My irritation with DC is they got more experience with that, at least on the comic books. They've got more material where it could have been smooth and it could have been done, but they made the decision, we're just not going to do it. We're not going to even bother with it.
When I heard my friend say that they could have done a better job of explaining Kang, and I'm like, to me, he's in a one-shot state of mind. I know I keep bringing one shot up, but to make these villains massive, you can't tell their backstory in one film or one TV show. Not like, because you could do minor villains that way. This Thor Love and Thunder, with I can't even remember the villain's name. But he was not a big, huge villain in the grand scheme of things because they're not moving in his direction. Now in the comic books he was, but they didn't have it, they're trying to, you can't have two bigs,
It's a Gore the God Butcher.
Gore the God Butcher, right. My thing about Gore is they call him the God Butcher, but you only seen him kill one god.
One god. He didn't live up to his name. Well, I mean, he butchered that
yeah,
one. So
yeah, he butchered that one.
yeah.
To me, you had to show why Zeus was afraid of him and was going to stay right
Yeah.
there. You know, they sort of dropped the ball on it, but I think Marvel did a thing to where, okay, are we going to stretch this? This could be done in a 2-movie set, because in the comics he was that strong of a villain and had ties into some other big villains.
Right.
But he's not the big in this thing. And now, me saying that, when the first Doctor Strange movie, I was wondering, okay, they got Dormammu. Dormammu is a big character, you know. But what they did was they did not kill Dormammu. He's just locked in his own realm.
Right.
You know, now Doctor Strange is about to go back, and we're going to see Dormammu again, because he's gone into the realm with Clea.
And Dormammu is going to be pissed.
It's going to be pissed.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's real pissed.
Yeah.
And you got to wonder, what is he going to do? Because he doesn't have the time stone anymore.
Right.
So you're going to have to defeat him a whole different type of way now.
Yeah, well, he has that third eye now, so.
Yeah, he got the third eye. They give him a little bit because we're about to use it.
So.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. That's the thing that you know, when I'm watching these movies, like because you and I watched the Quantum Mania. It sounds like a WWE event.
Right.
But we was watching that, and I was like, you know, because when the thing that got me excited in that movie, and we're gonna hit on it, was the Kangs at the end. All those
the Council of Kangs.
Oh my God! When I saw that, man, I was just like, it was a comic-gasm for me. You know, I was like, wow, this is the biggest thing that they've ever did. And Alvin and I had to talk, and my mind was racing the whole time, thinking like, how are they gonna do this? This is
right.
Because if you know Kang in the comic book, you know this dude ain't a joke. You know what I'm saying? I don't care about no Thanos. I don't care about anything. This dude is not a joke. Right. So, you know, when I'm thinking about, the them going into, multiverses and talking about gods and all this other stuff, you know, I'm thinking about the common person who's not in tune with comic books, who has no idea what the comic books that this stuff that it even come from a comic book. I kind of look at it like, will they get it? You know,
right?
Will they be able to stick to it? Because I've seen multiple people, they go into it. I just don't understand that one. They'll say I like Captain America movie, but I don't understand, that Avengers movie. They'll say stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? You sit there and explain it to them, but I don't got time to, I'm have to be you're seeing I human through the comic books. You know what I'm saying? You're seeing I geek. I don't have time for that. So that's the thing that I wonder about. Will it get too overwhelming? The plots and jumping from different universe and going here and doing that. Because I can just hear somebody like, I don't understand why there was 2 different Batmans in the movie. I'm like,
right.
So it just
that's why they have friends like us to explain it.
Yeah. And I'm like, they were in a whole different universe. They said, well, I don't understand, why can't it be the same guy in all the universes?
Dude, sometimes it make me so frustrated. I'm like, well, you just stay stupid.
Yeah, just stay
I'm
stupid.
tired of explaining it.
Yeah, I don't understand. So I mean, because I've literally had to, these talks with people and everything. So it's just for the average person, who just can't wrap their mind around it. That's what
right.
And that kind of goes back to what you were saying earlier. If people opt out of it, there won't be any more movies because they're not making no money from it.
Right.
It all ties into one another. You have to kind of walk them through it. You have to kind of baby step them. You have to dumb it down a little bit. so they can grasp it enough to be intrigued enough to.
Right.
You
to
need to
stick
have
with the
you need to
story.
have you need to have Loki in order to be able to get Quantum Mania done.
Yeah,
You need to have that
you
lay
need to
that
have a
ground.
series. You need to have the
Yeah.
series that they can watch over and over every day, and get it, and so they can digest it.
Right.
All right. So I guess like I said, that Flash trailer, we're very excited about what's coming up. You know, did y'all see the James Gunn announcement?
I haven't. No.
Okay, let me go through this because I think this is going to be okay. All right, that's it.
It's cool.
James Gunn was
he
recently
spoke
announced
on
as
every.
co-chairman
Well,
of DC
we sort of
Studios.
piggybacked, and I hadn't even seen. I've heard that he was going to use certain characters, but
Yeah,
he's saying everything that we wish would happen.
right. And that's why I showed it because that's why I asked if you've seen it because because I know that like I said, continuity was Sonny's concern, and
I believe it when I see the trailers.
well, you've seen one trailer. It's Flash.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
But
coming
one
about.
trailer does not
But, I
make
mean-
make continuity. It's like
But I mean, I think the
first
biggest
anything is not annual.
thing is him introducing him and as a co-CEO, meaning
Right.
he had him and someone else have the power.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Of course, I know there's a board. I know it's people above them. They don't have caveat to spend all the money, but they have when he introduced that as CEO and him being able that says a lot for me. So
Right.
I don't uh I'm not doubtful. I'm just intrigued to see what's going to happen. All right, so I guess we can move on. Skip that one. So the next big thing, and I know I mentioned it earlier, is there's this big uproar amongst fans about the MCU. They're calling the MCU the MCU because of this big rush of female characters that are coming into the MCU that are taking over the male slots. Just to put it in context, the MCU is trying to have be more inclusive when it comes to race, be more diverse when it comes to race and also gender. Well, I should say that. So when it comes to race and gender, they're trying to be more inclusive. A lot of these heroes were created in a time where there was no inclusivity. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
Let's just put it out because a lot of people are not really understanding the context of what's going on. So I think Batman and Superman, there was in the 20s or 30s, created in 20s, 30s. So let's put ourselves in a social climate back then of how many female heroes did you think they would even take to back in those times? How many Hispanic or Black heroes do you think they would have took to in those times? You see what I'm saying? So
Right.
the majority of the heroes that were created during those times are all white males.
Right.
Not saying there were no females, because there was Wonder Woman, and there were a few others. So, but when you looked at the whole, they were far and few in between, and then you have to look in context. The first Black superhero, that comic book was Black Panther, and that came out in July of 1966.
That no. Well, yeah, he's yeah, I can see that. He's not the first superhero to have his own book though.
No, not
Yeah,
the first.
he was in Fantastic Four.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's 30 some years after all these heroes were created, after the Batmans, after the Superman, after Captain Americas, after the Iron Mans, all these superheroes and everything were created. So most of this stuff was already established and the trend was already started. So now we're living in a time, we're in 2023, where people want to be more represented in the I say the commodity that we're purchasing. We want to be more represented into it. So now you have more black superheroes. You have more female superheroes. And a lot of people are saying, okay, well, the MCU, they're pushing an agenda. And I'm like, well, I said, doesn't me personally, I think every movie pushes an agenda. I don't understand, whether it be political or whatever, it's an agenda somewhere that's being pushed in every movie. Right. There's a plot, there's an agenda. Because you don't have, you have to get something. Whether the agenda is love and, stay married, or whether it's break up and, cheat, whatever, there is an agenda. Right. The thing that I don't understand about this particular frustration is why, I understand that you grew up with these characters. You grew up with the Iron Man. You grew up with all these different characters and everything. Why is it that a woman coming into and taking the place of it bothers you?
Because we're still caught in a racist, misogynist society. The ultimate slap to the face is Superman, because you brought a alien and made him a white male.
Right.
Superman could have been green. He's supposed to have been an alien.
Right.
So
I mean, technically,
it's that God syndrome. We made him in our own image.
Well, I mean, I know I'm going to get super political. And I'm going to say some stuff it's going to be ultra wild to somebody, but I can prove it in the Bible. Jesus is not a white blonde guy.
Right.
Okay. The fact that if you go to your church and you have that picture of a Caucasian blonde guy on your wall, and I know when people hear that, they say, "Well, you saying he's black?" I'm just saying, all I'm saying is he's not a fair skinned blonde guy.
So that picture hangs in black and white churches.
Right.
I also want to say I'm impressed by Alvin's use of the word misogyny.
So he thought it just he trying to say massage, but
massage. But you know what, we faced that when I spoke to Sonny about this, and I might have spoke to you, Carlos, too. You remember the uproar that we got when Riri Williams came out, Ironheart? They was like, we don't need a black female Iron Man.
Right.
And so what do they say? It's a saying that imitation is
the best form of flattery.
Yeah. And so when you think about that, to create new heroes, why can't, in a comic book realm, I admire Iron Man and I'm going to try to be Iron Man. I'm going to build me a suit like Iron Man.
Yeah.
And pursue in her passion to be an Iron Man. She's a genius. He's a genius. She proved how big of a genius she is by creating her own suit, But all we get out of it is, or all the people get out of it is, we don't need another, a black Iron Man.
Yeah,
it was a newspaper article written up about this,
Right. And she was already an established character.
Right. Well, no, at that time when the newspaper clipping came out, it was Marvel was releasing
Oh yeah.
that
Okay.
she was about to
I thought
they
you
were
were about
about
the
to
movie.
move.
I'm talking about yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm sitting here like, why can't a young black girl, we tell everybody, you could be the president of the United States. And Marvel had enough balls to show us that, okay, that is a good, you're right. And we're going to move in this aspect, but you got some, stuck in the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s type mentalities. She ain't my Iron Man.
Yeah.
My Iron Man is Tony Stark. He white. He look like me.
And that's what I don't. I guess this is my thing. Okay, okay. You remember back in the days when you looked at a movie and they said we need a drug dealer or a pimp.
Mm-hmm.
Who did they get?
You got black people.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, you got black people, and when anybody who's an actor tell you that the
But
parts
right,
are
but that's the
called for
thing.
those kind of things.
So back in the days, if they needed a drug dealer or a pimp, they got a black person. If they need a doctor or a lawyer, then it's a white person. And then we progressed along, and then things balanced out. So it seemed. And now now it kind of flipped to a point now. Okay, if I say, well, I'm making a show and about a black doctor, and his wife who's a lawyer. I'm kind of describing the Cosby Show, but I'm making a show about a black doctor and a black and his wife, and they're both black, and she's a lawyer, he's a doctor. And said, oh well, y'all are pushing an agenda, and I'm like, are you saying that there is no doctors and black doctors and lawyers? I mean, what is your point? You see what I'm saying?
You get into a whole different kind of thing there, because I remember when Fox first came on, all Fox had was black shows that were fun, entertaining, and not stereotypical. And all those shows got pretty much axed at once.
Yeah.
But what you're trying to argue with, and what we all try to argue with, and why we can't put our head around it, is because that's a level of ignorance. It's a level of ignorance saying that why do we need to have this hero, because this hero doesn't look like normal heroes. And so what is your idea of a normal hero? Obviously, your normal idea of heroes is that they have to be white, and in most cases, male. And in in this hobby of this interest of sci-fi and comic books and all this, you always think that, you know what, everybody's nerdy. Nerdy doesn't see color. Nerds don't see differences. But the sad fact of the matter is that ignorant people in every genre,
right,
that ignorant people that absolutely see those differences.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sad. It's sad. I don't, to be honest, when you mentioned the She-verse, I didn't even think about that until you mentioned it. And that caused me to think about it a little bit more. And I'm like, okay, I'm cool with it.
I mean, listen, I was literally, because I'm a real geek. I watch all the videos. I watch Screen Crush and all these different YouTube videos that really analyze the Marvel movies and all this other stuff. I watch this, and in my travels through this, I stumbled on the video, and I was like, they said MCU, and I'm like, what the hell are they talking about? And they said, well, the number of women that are replacing the male characters and becoming heroes and this, like that. And I'm like, so? I mean, I'm like, I don't understand the point. What is your problem? You're mad that the fake guy died and this fake woman is stepping up and taking his place. Or is that so? Are you saying that you can only idolize a white male? You can only look up to this guy right here. You can only look up to him. But with this woman who's something, well, they're acting like men. I'm like, how are they acting like men?
Yeah.
She has a superpower. She has a special ability. She's super smart. Black Widow fucking kicked ass.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's not like she did her nails the whole thing and just walked through the whole Avengers. So I don't understand. What are you talking about? You know, I guess that me and my uncle say, you know, I'm scared to understand where you're coming from because that means I'm stupid. I'm as stupid as you.
But Los, I'm still having to explain to some people that Black Panther was not created as a character to represent the Black Panther movie.
Oh yeah,
I've been in that conversation more than once. I've been in that conversation. I shouldn't have to be in that conversation at all. I still deal with some people who have not seen the Black Panther movie because they're uncomfortable with the images that you see in the images. So we just say it. I mean, they're uncomfortable seeing all these Black folk that apparently are in Africa and not starving. I guess I don't know.
yeah.
But I've literally had to go through the whole thing about how Stan Lee created the character and thought about changing the name because of all the stuff that was going on at the time. I mean, it's just crazy. But once again, that's ignorance. That's ignorance. And unfortunately, that's not something that you're going to be able to really get past. Unfortunately,
Yeah,
I mean,
and
you have
that's
to
the thing
continue
that's
to
one of those
educate
things that
and move
it kind of
forward.
ruins it. It kind of ruins it when you have people who just can't accept. Okay, well, I know that the standard used to be a white male was my hero. He was the only one that can save the world. It's just like I'm gonna tell you. You remember in Endgame when all the females that in that frame for a second, it was a rescue. It was Mantis, Shuri,
Captain
Valkyrie,
Marvel.
and Captain Marvel. They were all in that one frame for a second, and they was backing up. I think that's when they took the what's on the gauntlet from Spider-Man.
Right.
And it was all those females. They were standing together and they was fighting. I went to work and the guy was like, "Man, I didn't like that. It's just like they was kind of pushing an agenda." And I'm like, I don't understand what are you talking about.
You know what? That scene represented a team
from the comic books.
From the comic books, it would not quite those particular characters, but it was called A-Force,
right?
And they were all a female Avengers group, you know, to you know, say less, but even that book, when that scene came out, that A-Force book shot up, you know, because people were thinking we're going to have an all-female, you know, movie, maybe.
Right.
It's, you know, spec stuff.
Right.
But yeah, some people just, if it ain't about them and what they're dealing with, then it's stupid. You know, let's, you know, I know I said something about Superman being an alien and he could have been green, but we made him a white man. But then Wonder Woman was made out of clay and they made her a white woman.
Right.
So
yeah, and that's one of the things I never understood that logic and that realm of thinking of that you can only this one gender and this one ethnicity can be the superheroes. It's just like when they were doing talks of showing the black Superman from the different universe. People were flipping out about that. I'm like,
they were flipping out.
Like, you know, why they gotta?
They were.
Like, why they got to have a black Superman? I'm like, this is from a different universe. So
Yeah.
of all the universes,
and to make it worse, there was two of them. There's two different.
Yeah. Like, so of all the
Black
multiverses
Superman.
and all the universes, you think they're all white? They're all going to be white Superman? But I'm like, I don't. I don't.
Carlos,
it's one of those things that don't fit in my mind. I think people
the answer
focus
to
on.
Carlos is yes. That is exactly what they think, and that's exactly what they think. And I wish I could say that this is something that's unique, but this kind of ignorance, this kind of prejudices is out across the board.
And I said something a couple of episodes ago. It's like when I mentioned about the switch from Lake Fury being from white to black, and then a few other characters also switching races, whatever. Like also Kang, he in the comic book he was white, now he's black, and that. And I made a comment that I'm all for it as long as it's great, as long as the changes are great and the ethnicity have nothing to do with the character. I'm all for it, and that's the same thing with gender, and that's the same thing with anything. I don't want these switches to water down the character or make or make the storyline worse or anything. I want it to be better, and so far everything's been great.
Look, man, you can have a character that's a talking raccoon that shoots people.
Exactly.
They already got that.
Yeah,
and it can.
You got
I don't care as long as it's good.
You got a talking tree that only says "I am Groot."
I am Groot.
And I'm like, so the guy. So so again, for those who are watching, I mean, please leave in the comments what you think. I mean, I can explore this, and I'm really spinning because, like I said, until I saw that video, I didn't even think nothing about it.
Yeah, I didn't think nothing about that.
I'm enjoying the ride. That's all the thing I'm doing. I don't have any control of the storyline, so you need to detach yourself from it. Detach yourself from the story and just enjoy the ride.
Folks just need to enjoy the movie for what they are.
It is, and stop overthinking. And like I said, just put down in the comments about how you feel about it, and if you and if for those of you who are shocked by Jesus not being white, then I don't know what to tell you. So you need to go pick up the Bible. That's all I got to tell you. Just go pick up the Bible. So, all right. So let's get back to the meat of this, and where Alvin and I saw the movie Ant-Man Quantumania, and Sonny, he hasn't seen it. His spectacular card is just slowly drifting away.
I know, right? I don't even know if we need to let him stay on the rest of the show.
Oh my God, I don't understand. I really don't understand, Sonny. You haven't seen any of the Ant-Man, and this is the
no. Hey,
movie.
look, he told me he's seen the first one. It happened to come on TV. I'm like, on TV? You got Disney? How come you just didn't watch it?
Yeah, you have Disney Plus.
I'm sorry. Is this about me? I didn't realize that I was the subject. I thought we were talking about Quantumania.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. We're gonna be shooting subliminals at you the whole time. So you just got to be prepared for that. So
yeah, some blurred background character just
I understand. I really want you to be part of the show. I really do.
Hey, I'm the eye candy.
Nah.
You're welcome.
Nah.
We appreciate that. There's some blind woman out there who's just all over you right now. She touching the screen like, ooh, he's so sexy.
Hey, that's why he grew that gray in his beard. He's trying to be like us.
Yeah, I don't understand, man. Like I said, we're gonna take your spectacular card away until you catch up with us, bro.
Wow.
You just a regular sci-fi guy.
Yeah, you just a guy.
Hey, no, how these young kids say, hey, bro,
Hey, bro.
Hey, bro. Hey, bro.
You're bruh. So we saw the fabulous movie of Ant-Man Quantumania, and man, it's a whole lot to unpack in that movie, bro. I mean, there's a whole lot to unpack because, of course, this kicks off Kang, and we had our first taste of who Kang was in the Loki series. The thing that I'm in awe about is the different aspects of Kang, because the Kang that we got in the Loki series is the sweet and low version of Kang. He's a nice guy. He's reasonable. He has the same agenda as the rest of the Kangs, but he's doing his agenda in a more reasonable way. He's not a conqueror. You know what I'm saying? He's just he's just the he who remains.
Right.
He's just he who remains, which that says a lot, because he was more tactical in how he became the one who remains, because the one that's in the movie and the ones that are in the end credit scene, oh my God, these are wild dudes, man.
Yeah.
I mean, for real. So I'm not gonna. So for those of you who haven't seen it yet, like one of these guys,
he who remains nameless.
One of these guys, I'm pointing because this on
really?
my screen. This is where you are.
Wow.
I'm not saying any names. He should be ashamed. That's who it's like. He should be ashamed.
Wow, really?
So I have this is gonna be a one-dimensional conversation between me and you, because some people just don't know what the fuck to do with their life.
Yeah. I'm right here, in case you didn't know.
I'm not looking at you right now. Shut the hell up. Go eat your damn chips. So so how do you feel about the movie? Let's start there.
Man, I thought this movie was an amazing kickoff. Even though we had the TV show Loki, I mean, in the movie realm, I think this movie did well. Now, like you said, there's a lot to unpack in this movie, and with each Kang, it just seems like there's different complexities between one and the other. They all have a same mind frame or wanting to, be the one that's over the universes or the last remaining Kang, or how, but each one of them have different personas, and without spoiling anything, you all definitely got to watch the two end trailers.
No, forget that. Forget it. Say whatever you got to say.
I mean, you got the Mortis.
He who should be ashamed will just have to deal with it.
Right. and those who haven't seen, just put us on mute.
And by the way, dumbass, spoiler alert if you ain't seen it.
Yeah.
Get your life right.
But it seems like even in the grand scheme of all of these Kangs, there is a hierarchy of Kang.
Right.
And it seems like, I don't know if the other Kangs hadn't smartened up to what's really going on, or they're just too emotionally attached in what they're doing at that time to know that they may be manipulated or
well, I think this is the thing. I think they all have their own agenda, and they're all working together, and they're all working in Congress with one another, but yet they have their own, each one of them have their own agenda.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because they're essentially the same person. So you can't say that this one over here, who is controlling all of them, who has his own agenda,
Right.
is more conniving than the rest of them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because they're essentially the same person. They're just from different universes. So
Uh-huh.
you know, they might, like I said,
And they did that well because just like we were saying earlier, they had a Kang that looked like a dinosaur, you know, a
Right.
reptile, you know,
And
all of them ain't have to be the same.
It was a good homage of that Council of Kangs in the comic book. For those who have
Right.
not seen that in the comic book, that picture of all the Kangs and of all the universes, that end credit scene was a good homage to that.
Oh man, they to the T.
It to the point where I literally got chills. You know what I'm saying? I literally got chills and I was excited. Was like, and the album, like Alvin will tell you, I was in the car with him. And I was looking out the window. I'm like, dang man, I don't understand. I don't know. It was like I saw Kang. It looked like Kang. I just fought Kang.
Right.
Like, I'm scared. He's just gonna kill it there. He gonna kill us. He gonna kill us all, Evan.
and then for Scott Lang to come back and beyond Loki and the time, you know, TVA members that you know that know he's actually probably the first human on Earth that realizes there's a Kang,
right,
and what's about to happen. So you got to figure, what do you do?
But the thing about it is because I think the only person that really understands the how huge this is Loki.
Well, him and probably Janet Van Dyne, the Wasp, because she spent so much time down there with
Loki, Janet Van Dyne, and Sylvie.
Right.
They're the only ones that really. Now, I think Ant-Man had that inkling at the end of the movie because you remember he was walking down the street and he was talking to himself. You know, he said, "Did I just release, you know, the other Kangs and all that?" Which, yes, you did, because you know, in the end credit scene, the reason that they're going to attack, he said, they've reached the multiverse.
Right.
You know, now this is ours. So we got to protect it now. So now the Kangs are going to be released. And I think the next few movies are going to explain a lot. But I think the Secret Wars movie is really going to bring it. It's really going to be the one.
Yeah.
The Secret Wars movie is going to be the one that, you know, we really get to get a full understanding of what the Kangs what they
I'm
can
looking
do.
forward to that.
Right.
What they can
looking
do.
forward to that.
Now, this is what I'm going to say. And I was looking at the methods between the two Kangs that we know so far. The Kang, He Who Remains, he was nipping the timelines in the bud just as they started. The method that he was going, and I know this is probably something he developed, you know, many millennia ago. This Kang in the movie, he was going into it in the middle of it and actually fighting and destroying everybody.
Right.
You know, and killing everybody in the middle of it. Do you realize how badass that is?
Oh yeah, man.
I mean,
but
he's destroying every superhero on every world, on every universe.
And some of them may even have different agendas, because you got Immortus, and then you got the one that was the Pharaoh, you know, Raman Tut, whatever his name, and he wanted to be worshipped. Right. You know, if you look down through,
he just wanted to be a god. He was a god.
Yeah. So I think they all have the same agenda with differences.
Which that Raman Tut, that one that you said, you know, you said the gods will probably be involved in it because the Raman Tut was there. That's probably going to bring in Moon Knight and all those guys.
Right. I can see that.
Because
we was talking about that earlier, you know, before this movie. You were saying, why is Moon Knight, you know, why did they have to do Moon Knight I think
No, I wasn't
there's
saying that. Well, I understand why. What I was saying is, I don't understand how he's going to fit because they didn't really get a hold of all his personalities.
right.
He has he has 4 or 5 I don't even fucking know. He just has a lot of personalities.
Well,
And I
he's
don't understand how he's going to operate.
He has a little bit of Kang in him, I guess, being for 3 or 4 different people in one.
I just don't understand. That's the thing that I'm going to have to see that one played out.
Played out. Yeah. I think he's going to have an important role.
Now the girl, the lady who played his I think his wife or whatever, her being there, I can understand that, and the other gods and everything. I get it. But with him with all those personalities in his head, I don't understand. I don't see how that's gonna. And I do say this. I honestly believe that Moon Knight episode, that Moon Knight series needed about 2 or 3 more episodes.
Yeah, it did seem to end abruptly.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah,
but
it did.
Can you imagine what he's gonna look like if they do? And I'm assuming they are him in the movies. You know, he's gonna. I think Moon Knight is gonna have I think Moon Knight will have a major role to play because he's an avatar. You know.
Yeah, he's gonna have, because, like I said, because of that timeline, because of the God portion of it, also because of, I know Doctor Strange is gonna have a huge portion, and America Chavez is gonna have a huge portion of it because her being able to jump from different universes and everything. Everyone that's pretty much had something to do with the universe. Even a Spider-Man probably, because he's done because of the Spider-Verse,
right?
Everyone that's had something to do with it is going to be touched because, like I said, the Kangs are really pissed off of everyone that these people are able to touch the multiverse,
right?
So they're going to go after everyone that's able to do it. And even if you think about it, this is going to be a good entry point to bring back Tony Stark because he created the time travel to do all this.
I can't wait to see what happens.
I don't know if with the introduction of the last Kang in the last trailer, I can't remember what his name was. The one that Loki then went to see. Mm-hmm. I think he had more to do with creating time travel with that little machine thing that
came from Tony Stark.
Well, they said he's actually a descendant of, or Reed Richards is a descendant of him.
But if you remember, when Loki first got to the TVA, and he said you need to blame Tony Stark because he said you went through time. He said you need to blame Tony Stark. He said that was supposed to happen. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
The idea was Kang allowed him, Tony Stark, to invent it so he can use it later on. See what I'm saying? So the other Kangs might be upset about that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right. Maybe.
Or like I said, but he might be a good entry point later on for him to come back.
I don't know if Tony Stark is coming back or Robert Downey.
Really about it.
Yeah, but he just turned down. He just dropped. They're not negotiating anymore. So
listen, I don't care with that news stuff. I'm not caring.
I know because they always say that and then move in a different direction.
You see somebody
listen, first of all, listen, don't burst my bubble. I want him to come back. You know what I'm saying? Just as much as I want, he who should be shamed to watch the damn movie.
I know, right?
You know what I'm saying? But I'm good. You know what I'm saying? If it don't happen, if either one of those things don't happen, I'm going to be disappointed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm with you on both aspects.
Either one of those things don't happen, I'm gonna be disappointed. You know what I'm saying? There's gonna be some spectacularness stripped. There's gonna be some floggings. There's gonna be some public shamings going on. I need to see results. That's what I'm saying.
Hey, and you need to see it before they put it on TV with commercials.
I don't even know. I'm gonna give him a deadline. I want a book report afterwards.
The next recording, you need to have seen
something. You need to see something.
I would have seen it by then.
But yeah, I you know, like I said, I think this would be a good entry point to bring back to bring Tony Stark, even if it's just in like now he don't have to fight. I'm not saying he had to put the armor on. I'm not saying this. I'm saying this is what I'm saying. I'm saying you're about to enter Secret Wars. You're about to enter multiple universes. You're about to battle someone who exists in multiple universes. You need someone who's smart in all these universes as well. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So whether it's Tony Stark at a chalkboard trying to figure stuff out, whether it's Tom Cruise playing Tony Stark or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Tony Stark needs to be involved at some point, is what I'm saying, because that was the thing. Tony, you know, Tom Cruise is supposed to come back as Iron Man. He's supposed to be an Iron Man.
I don't know if I like to see that, and if I do see Tom Cruise as Iron Man, I hope it's a one shot, because they could get
Alvin's word of the day is one shot.
It's one shot. Hey, they could get another actor.
Well.
They could get another actor who, if you're gonna bring him back, and let's use him, you know, for future. So let's go younger.
Yeah, well, they're gonna have Iron Lad, so that's gonna be.
Yeah, but even in the movies, Iron Lad turns.
Yeah, he turns later. But
I mean, in the comic,
they do need if they do have they can definitely have a young Tony Stark who who probably just, you know, got the suit early in life for whatever reason.
You know, they could bring Big Daddy Kane to play Kane.
They was talking about that on Jimmy Kimmel, because what was it? No, what's his name that plays Falcon?
Oh, I know you're talking about. I can't call his name.
Anthony Mackie.
Yeah,
Anthony Mackie was on Jimmy Kimmel the other day, and he said, yeah, we're gonna start shooting. He's supposed to start shooting Captain America in about a week. He said, is Kang supposed to be in there? He said, Big Daddy Kane, because you know they gotta throw people off. He said, He said that'd be cool to have Big Daddy Kane in the Marvel movie. It was cool. It was funny, but
my man.
Yeah. So, but yeah, but yeah, I really do think that, you know, this is more, to me, this is more exciting than Thanos. This is more exciting than Endgame. This is more exciting than, because the fact of Secret Wars coming and all this and all these things coming on the horizon, I'm so excited. You know, remember I told you I got these are my only toys that I have. This Optimus Prime over here and the Megatron. You know what I'm saying? I don't collect many toys. I don't do that. I do have some Star Trek that I bought at the. I think you were with me when I bought those. When we went to the Georgia flea market. I bought the Star Trek, and it's the shuttle, the little shuttle, and it has Captain Kirk and a few others. I don't have many Sci-Fi toys. Yesterday, I ordered 2 Kane action figures.
Cool.
That's how excited I am.
Yeah.
That's how excited I am. And I'm like, I don't know. And I'm like, I just want it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Did I go?
Kang,
hey, look,
did I go and buy the have more than one?
No, I did not buy I did not buy a Thanos action figure, but I bought 2 Kang action figures. I can show you the ones I bought, matter of fact. And one of them doesn't come out till August, so I pre-ordered it. I don't even pre-order. I don't even do that. So I got this one. You can't even see it. Damn it. This one is the one who remains.
The one
He
who remains.
remains. And the one that doesn't come out, that's actually coming tomorrow. The one that doesn't come out to August 3rd is the king that was in the movie.
Okay.
So,
The Conqueror.
The Conqueror.
Mm-hmm.
So that one doesn't come out to August 3rd. So, like I said, I'm excited. Like I said, I'm really pumped up about this, and I think the thing that really excites me is the different possibilities of what can go on.
Right.
This is going to introduce a bunch of characters. This is going to introduce new powers, new possibilities, new universes. Yeah. And I'm even in the comic books, I really love the multiverse. I love how that plays out. So I would ask this guy over here, his opinions, but he doesn't have an opinion.
Right.
I'm going to see the movie. I think the movie is great. Judging by what y'all say, I'm sure the movie is wonderful. I'm sure there's continuity to it.
I think we know somebody that can replace him. I think we know.
I know because he
once again,
he giving me sucker vibes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm the level of disappointment I have is just it's almost hurt. It's almost hurt.
I know.
Wow.
It's almost hurt. That's the level of disappointment I got. I'm just saying. And that's just me being honest. It's because I love you.
Right.
If I didn't love you, I wouldn't care.
So we just hurt my feelings. Okay, I got you.
But yeah, okay. So yeah, that's all we can talk about since only two of us seen the movie. So
yeah. Wow.
Otherwise, it just feel like we just monopolizing the conversation. So
I know, right?
So Evan, let's talk comic book.
Okay.
Comic books. We got comic books.
I got a couple
comic books. This right here, I purchased.
Yep, the Static.
Now this is not the original Static from the original in the first series. They re-released this Static, but they put it in the old cover, which I thought was cool.
That was cool. And the only difference in that one is you could see the $9.99 because I picked that up too. You could see the $9.99 through the package. Yeah, so that's how you can tell that's different than the other.
So yeah, for those who just go ahead and get that. This is cool.
You got the original one too, don't you?
Yeah, I got the original. I got this one too. I got the original.
Yeah, I got original one also.
So, because I'm a geek. This is what I do. What you got for me?
I picked up a couple things. I am a big Rodney Barnes fan, so I picked up this Blackula book that he put out. Rodney Barnes is killing it in the vampire horror game. He also writes Philadelphia and Anita Ha's Nightmare blog.
And you picked up a few. You picked up a few Philadelphias when you was here, didn't you?
Yeah. Actually, just one because I put one back. I have them all, but that one particular cover I always buy.
Okay. When I did not order that. I meant to order that, and I did not.
Oh man, I haven't read this yet because I'm so far behind on my reading. But what's so funny is if you go to Instagram, there's a lot of celebrities that are that has the book and they're doing shots, with this book here, photos. So that was a cool pickup. Like I said, I hadn't read it, but I'm wanting to.
Oh, now, if you run across another one, get one for me.
That's the original?
Yeah.
Yeah. Looks exactly like it.
Yep. Just in case some people can see them together.
Then
original remake.
Then I picked up this by Chuck Brown, where it's by David F. Walker, Chuck Brown, and Sanford Green. And this is the omnibus hardcover, and it has all 15 issues
I like the way you proved that it was hardcover by tapping on it.
Oh yeah.
We just couldn't take your word for it. I appreciate it.
I got mine.
It is really cool, and I'm gonna keep it sealed because
How much was that?
This was $59.99.
$60. Cool.
Yeah,
Where'd you
and
get it from?
I had my comic shop order it. It came out because you know they don't order some of these black titles in abundance. So a lot of times you got to be put on, put it in your pool box, or you can go to pre-order previews and put your order in for it.
You said that's the
Omnibus.
Yeah.
I think I seen one copy on eBay that was a little bit, they were asking a little bit over $50 plus, plus shipping.
They got it on Amazon right now for $54.
Okay, yeah. But I have all the single issues, but man, I love this comic so much. I was like, I had to get it.
Yeah.
And then I picked up this milestone compendium.
Guess who just ordered it?
Oh, you just ordered it. Cool. This is the second volume of the milestone compendium, and I missed out on the first, so I'm gonna have to order it. But it's gonna have all the the early milestone stories in it. So that's a cool pickup. And then
I just recently bought this right here because of the DC. Because James Gunn, I bought this.
Oh yeah, the encyclopedia.
And I already have this one.
Yeah, and you got me a Marvel encyclopedia that I have here too. So
and I ordered the damn it. I'm just spending all my damn money. Hold on.
It's not hard to do.
And this is coming Friday, but I ordered the Wakanda Files.
Wakanda Files.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, I ordered that as well. And this is going to be here. That's going to be Wednesday. But it was like $17.40. So.
Okay, cool.
I ordered that off Amazon. I order all my stuff off Amazon, by the way. I'm an
this
Amazon
here I picked up because it was a NWA
I like that one.
homage. I'm like, it was the last one on the shelf at my comic shop. So I was like, man, let me pick that up. That's a cool cover.
That'll make a nice damn shirt too.
And now that we see the Supergirl in the Flash trailers, I had started picking up a couple Supergirl books. That was pretty good. And that is the first appearance of this Supergirl, that Superman
I got
Batman
this one for $20.
Yeah, that's a cool pickup. So that's some of the stuff that I've picked up here lately. I also, they're doing a Tomb Raider show. So I was out at an antique shop and picked up there's a couple Tomb Raider #1s in there and Origins. So I like to stay current on things.
Cool. Well, also my good friend Alvin, he brought me my flawed comics. Appreciate you, Alvin. Appreciate that.
You're very welcome, dude. And
Appreciate
that is my favorite cover. That cover there, that last one you just showed. So that is nice.
I've been meaning to start reading it this weekend, but I got busy doing other things.
And that's by Chuck Brown, who also wrote Bitterroot,
right,
or co-writer of Bitterroot. Mm-hmm. So that's a cool series.
Son, did you have any books?
I would actually held up the one that I've got too. I've got that Bitterroot compilation.
You could contribute this episode.
And I missed out on the Blackula. So if Alvin, if you run across a Blackula, pick it up for him. Because like him, like his stores don't really order a lot of black titles. So I'm pretty sure I'm the only one that gets Philadelphia and Bitterroot when it was in print. Because they had to look it up when I asked to order it. They had to look it up when I asked to order this hard copy.
Well, I'll if I see one out and about, I'll pick it up for you. I'll pick up what Carlos, you just ordered it, so no, you ordered the
I didn't order Blackula.
Yeah. So if I see them out, I'll pick them up for y'all.
Yeah, I didn't order them. That probably
I think that
it'll be $1 million in a couple of weeks too.
Yeah, just because you did.
Because I didn't get it. Got everything else.
This one here is
I worked with.
It's $19.99, so I mean it's not going to be a bad pickup.
Damn it, Alvin!
I swear, if a book has 20 covers, I can get 19 of them. It's that 20.
Right.
Shoot up in price.
Damn it, Alvin! It's a comic book, right?
It's a graphic novel. Yeah. I saw that in the Rodney Barnes had put it on his Instagram post that he was doing a Blackula book. Man, months ago. I mean, it was last year sometime, and I told my LCS, I said when that comes out, she looked it up and said it ain't out yet, and I said as soon as it hits the previews, I need it. Order
here Tuesday.
Yeah.
All right.
I look at it like this: if we don't support us, who's gonna support us?
Right. And that's what we got to do, man.
So,
and that's one of the reasons why I want to do this. I want to do this podcast because I know a good number of geeks and comic book and sci-fi people, and of course then the number of people that I know that are black is of course is smaller than the of that are white. So so when I want to want this podcast to show that black people, we love this stuff, we love this culture, we're about comic books and everything. So I do know a good number of black people in it, and I really want to. Of course, this is for everybody. It's not just for black, not just for black. It's for anybody who loves this culture. So, but I do want to represent us and represent our the writers and the artists that that contribute to the black comic books and everything. So that's
I want to tell you all about a Facebook group, and it's called Black Comic Lords. Yeah. And definitely join them. And then there's also Black collectibles, books, cards, comics, art, etc. It's a buy sell trade site, and you could pick up a lot of knowledge. There's so many books out there that I didn't even know.
Black Comic Lords.
Black Comic Lords. There's all type of black comic artists and new books coming out, and they keep you hip on what's about to come or things in the past, even back in the pre-code days, back in the 30s and 40s. So definitely go and join those groups, because they'll give you a lot of knowledge.
So there's some other groups. I just joined that Black Comic Lords.
I just joined it too.
But there are plenty of black groups on there, and I hate the ones with have the questionnaires, because I want to fill it out, but I can't do it right now. But but yeah, it's good to support the community and everything, because if we get a strong community up, these black comics and everything be more plentiful, and they get them in the store and everything. And like I said, our culture just kind of tends to look down on us who like stuff like this.
Right. You know, we call us nerds and geeks before anybody else do. So.
Yeah, we do. I mean, you got a bunch of alpha males in there, and then like before the Marvel movies came out, this wasn't cool.
Right, this wasn't cool.
Yeah. Now that the Marvel movies are out and everything, you know, it's kind of cool now.
You still read funny books?
Yeah, the funny books. Yeah.
You read funny books? You know, I just remembered I have a Amazon gift card. I think I'm gonna order Blackula through Amazon.
There you go.
$20. I think I have a gift card for $20.
But that's about it. I think as far as TV, I think one of the things we have to realize is that this is the last season of Flash. The last season of Flash started, so we're coming upon that. I haven't seen any episodes of it yet. I'm a binge watcher, so I'm trying to wait till they accumulate it. It's gonna be, plus I know Netflix will get them all anyway.
Right.
So
I'm so far behind in Flash, man. I think the last episodes I've watched was in the 4th season, I believe.
Yeah.
So I need to get back on that.
Alvin, you did mention that you watched that Star Trek Prodigy.
Oh man, that is a really good. I loved it. I loved the way they did it. The cartoon is amazing.
I like that they had a bunch of episodes.
I binged it too. I binged it in 2 days. That's how good it was.
I like that they have a bunch of episodes in that. It's good. I'm glad it didn't do just no 10 or 12 episodes.
Left you hanging.
Yeah, but it was real good. I like that. I've been seeing they have the trailer for the Invincible 2 season. People really been demanding it.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to that. The Loki series is coming out this summer. I think in July, I believe. So
Mandalorian's coming out the 1st, I think.
What's that?
Mandalorian.
Oh yeah, the Mandalorian beat this coming Wednesday. That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah,
that's gonna be truly good.
It's a lot of good stuff out, man. A lot of good stuff.
So, but yeah, we got a lot of good things that are coming up. There's these Ant-Man movies that they're good.
I heard they were, hey, if somebody just not happened to see one.
There's 2 that, like, before this movie there was 2 of them that came out. So it was Ant-Man, then Ant-Man and Wasp, and then Ant-Man and Wasp: Quantumania. For those who haven't been keeping
right.
Wow. Okay.
For those
I'm going to see it.
What?
I'm going to see it.
Huh?
I'm going to see it. I'm going to watch both of them.
Carlos, put him on mute. Him. What? He just.
What did you say about DC?
Him that should not be heard.
Yeah, that's what it is. He who should be ashamed. And what you say about DC, I believe it when I see it.
Right.
I believe it when I see it.
Now the next episode we gonna inquire about this.
I know, and I'm not gonna want to hear your mouth.
No, what he gonna do is gonna put the movie on and go to bed and say, and then watch 15 minutes of it. Then get on here and lie and say, I saw it.
I saw it.
I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna watch the whole thing.
Okay. All right, brother. We've been talking about this for a couple of months now. Just let you know.
If you don't, you're gonna be him who should not be believed.
Yeah, him. Yeah. He who was a big ass liar.
See, that's the difference between me and Carlos. He's more blunt. He's straight to the point.
I ain't got time to beat around the bush. I might die tomorrow. You might not know how I feel. Now you know how I feel. All right, everybody. We appreciate y'all joining us, and again, please leave your comments and everything. Let us know what you think, how you feel, what you think we should do, what you want to talk next about.
Yeah,
what we doing right, what we doing wrong.
Right. Give us some feedback.
We open to it all. We know we're not we're not thin skinned, as you can see. So Just let us know what. Just let us know what you know. This is just as much your show as it is ours. So we want to make sure that everyone here to enjoy it because we represent each and every one of you. Alvin and Sonny, and do y'all have anything to say before we close out?
No, just tune in. Maybe we'll get some interviews in here later on. Get some folks to interview.
Man, I'm trying to get these worked up a little bit so I can reach out to a certain person. I don't want to say who that certain person is because I don't want to put it out there. Then they say, "Hey, I thought you said you was gonna do that," because I'm not a big fucking liar like some people. But
Wow.
What?
Wow.
What?
I actually have a person in mind myself.
Did I say a name? I didn't say a name. I just said I'm not.
Yeah, he who is paranoid.
Yeah. All right, everybody. We appreciate y'all joining us, and thank you for watching and everything. And we'll see y'all again next time. Love you.
All right. Peace out.
See y'all.